A watchdog group calling out the Pentagon and the controversial DEI curriculum, a report says, is being taught in classrooms for military kids. In fact, nearly 70,000 service members attend these public schools run by the Department of Defense. An investigation by OpenTheBooks.com forced the Pentagon to announce the closure of its newly formed Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion last spring. However, Open the Books has found the closure didn't actually stop the DEI initiatives, but instead secretly bolstered them. Joining us here this morning to discuss is Adam Andrzejewski, the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com. Good morning to you, sir. I want to understand the history here first. A year ago, why did the Pentagon close their K-12 schools DEI office and reassign its chief?
Well, the Department of Defense found that the DEI initiatives, diversity, equity, and inclusion, they were not compatible with the mission, and they were not compatible with military readiness. For example, the previous chief of DEI, the first ever, she wanted to completely destroy, uproot, rip up the current system of education. She wanted to replace that with a social justice activist orientation versus a traditional model. When we exposed this, when we worked with whistleblowers, we put this into congressional leadership. They brought it up with military leaders at the Pentagon. And a year ago, it looked like the Pentagon agreed with us when they canceled and terminated the first ever office of DEI within the Pentagon's public schools.
Right, but this week your organization launched a new report showing that the practice of DEI didn't really go away, but was, quote, institutionally embedded in all aspects of the school system. That's what your report showed. So what actions did the Pentagon take to do this?
Well, it was a head fake. While they said publicly they were taking this office down, privately now we know that they drove the DEI infrastructure underground. And so what they did is they embedded it into all aspects of the organization. They basically did two things, Jan. Number one, into the four key aspects of the organization. That's student curriculum and assessment, and you have staff hiring and development. The DEI training went into those areas. And then you had a DEI steering committee that was created, and it's been a year, and we still don't know the members of that committee.
Talk to us, though, about the troubling curriculum and ideologies you found in the classrooms of the Pentagon's K-12 schools.
Well, we found things that are happening in the classrooms, like private chat rooms between students and teachers that the parents don't have access to. We found that 4-year-olds are being taught gender expression, LGBTQ plus gender expression and gender activity. We found that the Marxist frames of power and privilege, oppressor and oppressed, are being taught throughout the school system. And that's what the elite universities like Harvard just got in trouble with on a national basis, because after the 10/7 Hamas attacks on Israel, many of the DEI organizations on campus were protesting our ally Israel and siding with Hamas. This is not good for our U.S. military.
Well, capturing this information was obviously pretty difficult. So was the Pentagon stonewalling, and what obstacles did you face?
Well, all this DEI infrastructure has been driven underground, so that's a transparency problem. But everything that we've found, from the books in the library to the videos to all the other DEI infrastructure, including our Freedom of Information Act requests that have been rejected or heavily redacted, the Pentagon is definitely trying to stonewall any observation, any transparency of this DEI. So for instance, videos, the links have come down from the agency, from the vendors. Our even basic Freedom of Information Act requests, like filing a request for their payrolls, for their checkbook, have been rejected. And even though we appeal and win those appeals, we still don't have that Freedom of Information Act production from the agency yet.
Founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan.